but of course dreadnaught. That's the word synonymous with big acoustic guitars. Uh-oh, they're mixed up. Which one is which? We'll look at that one later. Here's the D40. D40 was the model that Richie Havens played at Woodstock. I swear we tuned these. Pronounced bottom end. Mahogany still gives us good mid-range. Pretty good sounding guitar. I like that balance, as I said, between the thump and the depth that the Martin dreadnaughts are known for. What I like about the Guilds is the fingerstyle stuff, especially all the notes. You hear all the notes and yet they blend together. They're not really sharp and individual, but they're distinct. So all that fancy fretwork, finger work that you've been working on to impress that girl or guy that you want to impress really shines with the Guild. As opposed to some other guitars where they just all kind of blend together and you have a nice wash of sound, but not distinct. Mahogany back and sides, again, gives a lot of clarity to the tone. But here we have the D55. This is their top line dreadnaught, and it has all kinds of interesting features. You know, they have the nice parallel lines down the neck and the three-piece fret markers. Oh, we might as well do this. Comparison tones. Rosewood dreadnaught. It's gorgeous rosewood. I'm a big fan of Indian rosewood because I love the sound. And compared to the other rosewoods that's out there, it's relatively inexpensive. Indian rosewood is still fairly easy to get, in spite of Fish and Game down in Tennessee. We'll talk about that some other time. This is a great guitar. A question from the audience.
How much is that one?
This guitar streets for not a lot of money. This guitar streets for, wow, around 26, 27. Not a lot of money for a rosewood guitar. Very powerful. Again, good solid bottom end, but distinct individual notes. They don't all muddy up. And for our last guitar, this is not a unique guitar. Semi-unique. This is one of 50. And as near as we can tell, it is the last available, never been sold or played D55 commemorative 50th anniversary. In 2003, and we'll get some close-up shots of this, Brazilian Rosewood. Those of you who follow the news and understand what the Lacey Act is all about, and as near as I can tell, the Lacey Act was a bone thrown to the tree huggers so that they could do more offshore oil drilling. Money seems to talk. The inspiration was to save the rainforest, and as typical Congress critters, they wrote a law that didn't save the rainforest at all, but made it difficult to have beautiful guitars built and owned. So you just heard Indian Rosewood. Much more mid-range to the Brazilian. idea of what Indian rosewood's all about. It's a beautiful wood. It's got a little bit more mid-range and openness. To get a Brazilian rosewood martin now, you're looking north of $50,000. I think tailors are in the range of $35,000 to $40,000. The wood is just impossible to get legally. There's a lot of paperwork. If you own a Brazilian rosewood instrument yourself, do not leave the country with it. It will be almost impossible to get back. If you have to take it out of the country, call the U.S. Customs Department and say, I have my grandfather's 1945 Martin D55 Brazilian rosewood. I'm playing some gigs over in England. How do I document this wood so that I can bring the guitar back? Because basically, according to the Lacey Act, you have to have documentation that the Brazilian rosewood was properly harvested, which nobody cared about until about 2005. Which means that all those guitars built before then have no documentation. It is impossible to prove that your Brazilian rosewood was properly harvested, and there are certain individuals whose head is bigger than their authority will try to make your life miserable. Just saying. Buy yourself a properly documented Brazilian rosewood, or better yet, don't take rosewood guitars out of the country. Take mahogany. Anyway, this guitar, I think we wanted about $9,000 for it, which is a fair price considering that if you were to have Martin build this guitar, it'd be north of, well, maybe $30,000 for Brazilian. So, opportunity there. But just for one more chance, now that you've heard that one, let's go back to this one. The Indian rosewood, the affordable guitar. Much deeper tone. But still, good clarity of notes. Such a steal. $2,800, $2,700, something like that. So, if you're thinking about a new acoustic guitar and you haven't considered Guilds, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't go out and play one. You may not like it, it's not for everybody, but if you don't play one, you buy some other brand of equal quality, because nobody can say that Martin, Gibson, and Taylor don't build great guitars, they're just different. You buy yourself, say you buy a Taylor and your buddy has a Guild D50 and you pick it up and you go, wow! How come I didn't try this before I spent the money? That's why we at Guitar Showcase like to have a lot of guitars on hand. We have lots of Guilds, Martins, Taylors, Gibsons, so that you have that opportunity to try all of them. You may surprise yourself. Anyway, this is Jack at Guitar Showcase for Totally Guitars. I appreciate your attention, and I hope you go out and find the guitar that you love, or two or three.